I don't think this game is going to be too close. I think that the matchup is going to be Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs against the Indianapolis Colts defense. I think that, Jonathan Taylor, who is a really good running back, I think that he can gain on the Bills' run defense, but I don't think that that's going to be susceptible for the entire game. And I don't think that, I don't think that the Indianapolis offense is good enough to carry them. I think, I've said this entire year that I don't think Phillip Rivers is the guy, and Phillip Rivers has shown glimpses that he's still pretty good. Then he's shown multiple glimpses that he's not good at all. So I think that the matchup is going to be the Indianapolis Colts defense, which is really good, even though they are losing some key players to injury, but their defense against the red hot offensive firepower that is the Bills. Josh Allen has played like an MVP. You have Stephon Diggs, who's played like one of the best wide receivers in the league. I don't see how the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think this is going to be a close game. Let me say this. I think it'll be a close game, but not close as like the score close. I think that they're. I have the Bills winning by at least 2 touchdowns. Now, you can call it close or whatever, but I just don't see how the Indianapolis Colts can keep up offensively with the Bills and defensively, honestly. So I think the Bills are arguably the hottest team in the league right now, and the Indianapolis Colts, the Bills might be the worst matchup that they could have seen in the first round. So shouts out for the Colts to making it, but I don't think that the Buffalo Bills was the team that you were trying to see round 1. So I got the Bills winning that. Next, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3 and the Cleveland Browns at 6. Now, I have gone back and forth with this game. And I'm gonna tell you where I landed. The Pittsburgh Steelers, like I said, yeah, they are 12-3, but winning has masked a lot of problems. We've talked about this on several episodes. I ain't gonna keep elaborating it, but who are the Steelers at their best? At their best, there's a high-powered defense and a high-powered offense when you talk about the ding and dunk, but you have wide receivers like a Claypool, like a Juju Smith-Schuster, like Williams, who they can give you. They can turn a 5-yard play into a 30-yard run quickly. Now, yeah, they have no run game at all. James Conner's been bad, and Snell hasn't been too good, but they have the players to be explosive. The Cleveland Browns have the same thing. You have Jarvis Landry. You have Peoples-Jones. You have some players that are, and then of course you have the run game. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who are arguably the best 1-2 when it comes to running the ball in the league. And the reason why I have been seesawing with this game is I've seen the Steelers at their best. The Steelers at their best. Hell, they were 11-0. At their best, they're one of the top. Of course, they're one of the best teams on both sides of the ball. And I've also seen them at their worst. And they look. I've seen them against the Bengals. I understand that's a divisional game, but they don't. At their worst, they are a horrible team. I've seen the Cleveland Browns at their best. They destroyed the Tennessee Titans. They made the Tennessee Titans look like a lottery team or a draft, like an early draft pick team when they played. Then I've seen the Cleveland Browns at their worst. I've seen them against the Pittsburgh Steelers when the Pittsburgh Steelers is completely healthy. I've seen them against the Baltimore Ravens get destroyed. So I just seesaw this game, man. And the reason why I'm going to stick with the Pittsburgh Steelers is what I saw on Sunday. Pittsburgh sat pretty much their entire team. Pretty much. Like, all their best players pretty much sat. Claypool played and some of the defensive players, but, Watt sat. Big Ben sat. I think Juju sat. I don't remember, but I know Claypool didn't. Like, they sat pretty much their best players. Cleveland played all of their players because they needed this game. If they would have lost this game, there was a good chance that they would not have been in the playoffs. And Pittsburgh, with pretty much their B team, damn near won. I think they lost by what, like 2 points or a point? And that showed me that I don't know if the Browns can beat the Steelers when they're perfectly healthy. Now, I understand that there are key people that are out on the defensive side of the ball for Pittsburgh. You know, Bud Dupree, who is out for the season, he's huge. And some of their back end players are hurt. But I think that I'm going to go with the Steelers beating I was for the long, again, I was seesawing it, but I'm going to go with the Steelers beating the Browns. I don't think that the Browns have enough, or I don't think they have enough as far as, I don't know if they can beat the Steelers. Let's just say that. I don't know, because what I saw on Sunday, they played their B team and almost lost. So, and the worst part about it was the Browns really needed that game. And yes, they won, but when I say that would give them more of an incentive to play harder. And I just don't see them beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I have the Pittsburgh Steelers advancing. Let's go with the number 4 Tennessee Titans against number 5 Baltimore Ravens. Let me first shout out Derrick Henry for being the 8th player in NFL history to rush for 2,000 yards in a season. I don't think that he'll win the MVP, seeing as though I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers locked that up. But I do think he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. So, shouts out to Derrick Henry. But let's talk about this matchup. I think, kind of like the Buffalo Bills, the Ravens is not the Raven. This is the worst time to see the Ravens. The Ravens are firing on all cylinders. They're destroying people. Now, I understand it was the Bengals and other people, but they are destroying people. And a lot of people want to look back on what happened last year when the Tennessee Titans played the Ravens in the playoffs, and you limit Lamar Jackson and kind of force him to throw the ball, and especially when the Baltimore Ravens play from behind, it just doesn't work out. And what I saw, here's the difference. The Tennessee Titans last year is not the same Tennessee Titans this year, especially when we talk about the defense. Tennessee Titans defense is horrible. Like horrible. And this is not the time to have a horrible defense going against this Ravens team, who not only are they still destroying people on the ground running the ball, but Lamar Jackson is still, making confident throws. Now, the jury is out to see if they're still able to play from behind, because they haven't really shown that they can do that too well. But you have a red hot Baltimore offense against a terrible Tennessee Titans defense. Now, I understand that the Baltimore Ravens defense, you're going to have to make, this really is going to have to be a Ryan Tannehill game. And I say that, that's the only way, honestly, that I can see Tennessee Titans winning, because you're going to have to load the box for Derrick Henry. You cannot let Derrick Henry run all over you. If you do, you're going to lose. Hell, look at anybody that's played the Tennessee Titans. If you let Derrick Henry run all up and down the field, you will lose. And you can say the same thing for the Baltimore Ravens. The thing is, I haven't seen anyone stop the Baltimore Ravens running the ball mostly this year. So I'm going with Baltimore Ravens. I think Baltimore Ravens can go deep in the playoffs, honestly. And I think that if Ryan Tannehill, again, we've seen them at their best, and then we've seen them at their worst. And their worst, playing against Cleveland was god awful. So I think that this is the right time for Baltimore. Do I think that they're good enough to win the championship? No, but I do think that they're good enough to make a deep run in the playoffs. And it starts with Tennessee. Again, I know how good Derrick Henry is. I know how good Tennessee can be, but I just don't see them. I don't see them stopping the rushing attack that is the entire Baltimore offense. It's not just Lamar. It's not just, J.K. Dobbins. Like, this is the entire offense. Now, I know Smith from the Ravens defense. That's a big, he probably not going to be there. Willie Snead has been dealing with injury. I think that you're going to need a completely healthy team that is there, of course, but I think the Ravens have enough to win. So that's the AFC. Again, I have Buffalo beating the Colts. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Browns, and I have the Ravens beating the Tennessee Titans.